Roma in the ancient times, Ramayana and the Mahabharata. Roma, known as Gypsies or Banjara, history goes back to 10 to 12,000 years. Descendants from Sri Ram, according to Thane College of Oriental Studies. After entering Surya Ganga, becoming Sri Ram, being rise of the name Roma. Roma understanding their name to mean people of the water or fish, from Sri Matsya and Sri Ram Avtaram. Roma heavily worship Sri Vishnu with Vedic Sintamani, living in ancient Himachal, Punjab, and Rajasthan. Roma, an ancient tribe of Bharat, mentioned in the Mahabharata chapters 2:28-49 and 2:47-26. Tribe enslaved by the Kauravas and liberated by the Pandavas. Roma became the attendants and herders to Sri Krishna's cows in history of Banjara people. Roma had been proud believing in the greatest of all gods, also heavily focusing on Sri Shiva Avtaram, becoming nomadic performers and artists in the temples and courts, traveling in northern Bharat across the watery lands known as Northern Ganga lands, giving devotion. The main form was singing for the gods. Roma believed the greatest way is to do home and performing singing for Shreya Lakshmi. Roma phases stated that Bharat Mata's temples shine with gold, and goldness was so great it could be heard. However, for Roma, the darkness of the Kolakai would soon begin, the great enslavement, being taken away from their beautiful mother of Bharat, known as the time of great chaos. Research continues into Roma ancient links within Bharat. Roma, the Korakai, and being enslaved. During the early Korakai Mughal invasion during 750 to 800 CE, Roma stories of the great chaos of Mother as the invasion began, and Roma battled against the invaders, enslaved and taken away from Bharat, enslaved for being Sanatani and Dharmic. It is stated that Roma were given 3 great blessings to survive the great horrors of being enslaved from Bharat, unable to return for over 1,000 years. Shreya Lakshmi gave blessings to find food. Shreya Kali gave the blessings of power of dark faces and long tongues. Shreya Sita gave the blessings to follow the stars and know how to get home once again at blessed time. Goddess Sita, mother goddess to Ramvatis. Goddess Sita is the star Ursara Major. When looking at the stars, all Roma knew they are Roma and under the gaze of Goddess Sita, mother of all goddesses. Roma, taken through the desert of Stan, now known as Iran or Persia. Roma rebelled against the slave masters. A story tells the Lord Shiva gave his final blessings and turned an evil slave master into dust, who would only beat Roma, taken to Iraq and Iran and sold as slaves to Europe and West Asia, later being sold into European slavery around 900 CE. The Roma chants that used to remain proud during darkness, Ai Shivale, Ai Romale, all remember the places of Lord Shiva, all remember the places of the Roma, India. Roma were enslaved in Europe for around 1,000 years. Roma, seen in public, would be punished with being hanged, their back and breast branded, or ears cut off. Another Roma chant was Upare Roma, meaning arise, here and now, my Roma. Ancient call of the Roma. Upare can also mean heavenly gifts, skywards, the divine gift from God. Look towards the divine starry sky and ascend towards the divine. To give the call Upare, as from Sanskrit, is the greatest act of Roma, resistance to hate. To say Upare Roma is considered the greatest act of friendship to Roma. During the greatest enslavement in Europe was a difficult time, but the worst would soon come. All Roma would be freed from slavery by the great Emancipation Proclamation by the Vatican ending slavery. However, Europeans enraged by the freeing of their slaves became the Nazis, believing Europeans could never live in a world with their slaves freed. No greater sin could be committed than to live among your former slaves. The first version of the Twaja Dharma was created. The Roma called for the right to return to their motherland of India. It is said that wherever you see the flag flying, just know that Dharma still lives. The Nazis came to power in 1933 and destroying Twaja Dharma flags, the beginning of the Nazi Empire. While many people already knew details of the Roma Holocaust, however, less well known is Roma understanding of the Holocaust. Hitler came to power in 1933, declaring his new Nazi empire, immediately banned Roma from leaving Europe and returning to Bharat. As Nazi came to power, they immediately began killing and torturing Roma to death. Hitler calls for the destruction of all Indians. Nazis destroyed the Roma flag made in honor of Bharat. It is said, wherever you see the Dwaj Dharma, the Roma flag, flying, know that the Dharma still lives. The Holocaust, known as Purjayama, the successful gorging, the final confrontation, and Roma as the proud children of Bharat Mata. Roma subjected to destruction of the Holocaust. Roma resistance named themselves after goddess Kali as Kali or Pure Black. Roma artist Pablo Picasso paints snake eyes, describing Hitler as an Asur. Roma actor Charlie Chaplin performs the great dictator speech against Hitler. Roma actor Yul Brynner calls on all European people to uprise against the Nazi. Roma Raja Xavier Puttalugyun, Roma astrologer and Ayurveda specialist, proclaims the stars align against the Nazi, meaning the Bharatiya divine, Bharatiya ancestors and Lord Vishnu. Roma proudly uprise but would be crushed. The Holocaust, terrible. The suffering, immense. 80% of Roma would be killed in the Holocaust. Roma community decimated to fragments. After World War II, surviving Roma was subjected to mass sterilization, apartheid, and pogrom attacks until 2012. Roma deliberately denied government documents to not allow them to return to India. Roma children regularly kidnapped and stolen from their parents. In 2016, External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj intervenes and declares Roma as Indians awaiting OCI NRI status. As the Nazis began to return to Europe, Roma grew increasingly afraid and only wished to reunify with India and Indians once again, knowing their home and places is their Indian brothers and sisters in India or worldwide.